Okay, so watching Mutant Mayhem after 3 times, I must admit I found a few interesting little details in this movie, and I thought this might be a good chance to actually break down this movie. So yeah, let's get this on, let's go! Okay, so in the opening shot we do get to see this agent. Now this agent is known as Spider in the credits. However, I do think that maybe this whole agent could be Agent Bishop, or maybe another EPF member, maybe Winters or Dark Knight from the RDW comics, but I doubt it, but at the same time, you never know where it could take this character. Then also in the opening scene, we do get to see the soldiers going to Backstockman's room, and going in and fighting off Backstockman, and we do get to see like Superfly as a baby, fighting all these soldiers. Now this shot is also somewhat similar to how they did it in the 2012 cartoon, where we do get to see Backstockman take out a few of the foot soldiers, and it's pretty interesting. Not to mention there was also a little shot here where we do get to see Superfly seeing it through his perspective, and we do get to see it like all in like a red phase type thing, and this thing was also seen in the 87 cartoon, which is also pretty cool. And then after the explosion we do get to see Backstockman's body on the ground. Now a little detail here is the fact that they actually never mention that Backstockman is dead, and they actually say that basically his work is gone. So I do think that maybe there may be a chance that Backstockman is alive and he could appear in future sequels. So I do find it a little bit interesting that I don't actually mention he's dead. So after that, before we do actually go into the actual title scene, we do get to see these little cool shots where we do get to go through the sewers and it's all green and stuff like that, which I must admit is giving me a lot of vibes from the 2007 game from a few little levels. Mainly it was level 3 and level 4 where the turtles were going through the sewers, and also on the rooftops, and it was like, and there was ooze everywhere. So I do find there was like little similarities between those little bits there, and yeah. So after that we do get to see the turtles on the rooftop about to go in and steal some food for Splinter, and that's when the turtles do compare Leonardo to Batman. Now this may be a little reference to the Batman TMNT movie that I did a few years ago, but also at the same time also did do a little reference to this back in 2014 when Raphael did his Batman voice. So I do find that interesting that they'll bring that back around again, and yeah. So after the turtles return home, we do get to see the turtles sneaking into the lair, and that's when we do hear some pretty interesting audio. Now this audio was used in the Kids' Choice Awards when it was promoting the TMNT movie and showing off like a little clip there. So I do find a little bit interesting there, so yeah.
Everybody be quiet. You be quiet. Be quiet. That makes it louder.
So then while Splinter is telling about this story, we do get to see a van going past, and that's when we do get to see a orange dinosaur on there. Now at first glance I did thought this was a Triceraton, but it's not, but it is like a very similar design to the 87 Triceraton, so I do find that a little bit interesting there. And then we do get to see Splinter is made a friend with a cockroach and he's called him Kevin. Now this could be a little nod to Kevin Eastman and stuff like that. So after that we do get to see Splinter and Turtles go to the surface world, and we do get to see a little cameo from SpongeBob, who is now a Paramount property, so I do find it a little bit interesting. Some little bit of crossover, pretty cool. And then that's when we do get to see a pretty interesting cameo. We do get to see Mr. Beast. He's finally made his appearance in Hollywood, and it's interesting for a few different reasons, and yeah, it's just amazing that he's now in Turtles. So after that we do get to see Splinter's train for turtles, and it's down on this pipe thing. Now in the little clip that they did release a few weeks ago, there was a little shot here where we do get to see Splinter going, but however in the movie he doesn't say he just silence, so I don't know what they're doing there, but yeah. After that we do get to see a boat where basically all the mutants are hanging out. Now this one is also a property of TSRI, so I don't know if maybe this is where they're carrying the ooze or something like that. And I must admit, this whole boat is giving me a little vibes from the Shield Carrier, but I think that might just be me, but I do find it interesting that this boat is deserted in such a really, like, destroyed way. So I'm wondering if maybe this was how, like, these characters got the ooze or something like that. So I do find that pretty interesting, and wouldn't be too surprised if in following movies we do get a little bit more detail about this whole boat situation. So after that we do get to see a little shot with Super Ultron, and on this little computer screen we do get to see a bit where it does say like the number of days since last successful mutation. Now I must admit again they don't actually mention Backstockman whatsoever in this scene again, so I do find that interesting that they're not mentioning him and they're not said that he's dead, so I do find that pretty interesting. So next shot we do get to see the turtles hanging around on the rooftop, and they throw the throne star and it hits April, and that's when we do get to see Leonardo has fallen in love with April. Now, in the 2012 cartoon, this did also happen as well, but this time it was with Donnie, and they are sort of like doing the same sort of stuff, but basically the turtles on the rooftop looking down at April. I do find that pretty interesting. Okay, and then when the turtles do go into the garage, there's a little bit here which I do find pretty interesting, but they did not include in the movie. Now, after the side goes into Donnie's leg, we do get to see Mikey asking if Donnie's going to bleed and stuff like that. However, in the movie, this little bit here was missing, I don't know why, and it's a little bit weird with the cut that they do in the movie. It does feel a little bit weird, but I do find it interesting that they have it in the trailer but not in the movie. A little bit weird, but it's still pretty cool.
Leo, what happened? Is Donnie bleeding?
So then after that we do get to see the turtles fighting, and that's when we do get to see Mikey goes into a car, and on the radio it is Going to Go, Need to Go, which is a reference for the TMNT 2 sequel to Ooze movie, where we did have the famous song sung by Vanilla Ice. Pretty cool and pretty great that I was able to include it in this movie. So after that we do get to see the turtles, they're on this building with April, and on the sign we do get to see the word Laird, and this could be a reference to Peter Laird, the co-creator of Turtles. Pretty cool. Now on this building there is a little detail which I did miss the first few times, but it's somewhat pretty interesting, and it's a little bit one which I think many people might miss, and we do get to see the skull on this building, and I have theorised that maybe this could be a Casey Jones logo, similarly to how the 2012 cartoon did also have a few like Casey Jones spray paints throughout the city in season 1 and stuff like that. So I do find that pretty interesting, and it's going to be a little reference to Casey Jones to come in the future. So after that we do get to see the turtles, they go back down to sewers, and that's when they do talk about Mark Ruffalo, and this bit here is pretty interesting just because they do bring up the MCU. Now if you watch the Ms. Marvel TV show, they'd also bring up the TMNT in that show, so I'm somewhat wondering how the MCU knows about the turtles, unless maybe it's a different timeline and stuff like that, and in this universe the Ms. Marvel TV show didn't mention the turtles whatsoever, so I'm guessing that's my theory, but I do find that to be pretty interesting that they do mention a property that has already mentioned them, so yeah. So in the next scene we do get to see the turtles going over to Eastman High, which is a reference to co-creator Kevin Eastman, but also in this scene we do get to see Mikey fall down into the garbage, and I'm wondering if maybe this could be a little reference to the 2007 trailer. We do get to see Mikey fall into the garbage again, so maybe a little reference there, maybe not. Okay, in the next scene we do get to see the turtles in the school, and we do have a few little Easter eggs here. So first one we do get to see a little picture of Attack on Titan, which will be foreshadowing stuff for the end of the movie, also being the first of several references to anime. Also on this looker we do get to see a little reference to Pac-Man, so that's also a little bit interesting for a few different reasons. Okay, and then when Mikey is signing up to do improv, we do get to see the turtles wondering what the last name is. Now in previous versions of Turtles, some names have been Splinter's son and Hamato, all leading back to Master Splinter, so I guess in this universe they haven't got one yet, so I do find that interesting. And when we do get to see the turtles making fun of Leonardo, we do get to see him call himself Leonardo. Now this was also a name which I did use in Rise of TMNT for a few episodes, which I must admit is cool to bring that back, and it's just so great. Okay, and then we do get to see the turtles going to April Neal's investigation room, which I must admit is pretty interesting for a few different reasons. Okay, so the first one we do get to see is a map on the wall. Now this map was also used in the RW comics in the City at War storyline to show off where each faction was taking control of the city and stuff like that, so I do find that interesting. And then again we also do get to see another shot that was taken out from the movie but was put in the trailer. We do get to see Raphael says, that's kinda cool, so I'm wondering why they took that bit out, but it doesn't really add or anything to the movie, but I find it interesting that they included it in the trailer but not the movie.
A bit cool.
Okay, and then we do get to see an amazing montage where we do get to see the turtles going in and fighting loads of little bad guys, and it's just so great. And we do get to see this one scene where we do get to see Raphael jump across the beds. And then we do get to see him jump up and elbow someone in the face, which may be a little reference to the Rise of TMNT, just because in that show they did have a character called Ghost Bear, and he was about to do his finishing move, which was the exact same one in this movie. Pretty cool. And then after that we do get to see Bad Bernie, and oh boy, this character is pretty interesting for a variety of different reasons. So the first one is the fact that in the concept art that was revealed a few days ago, it was revealed that he is a Rat King. Now, I can somewhat see this just because of his teeth, which is somewhat similar to how Master Splinter has them in this movie. Pretty cool and pretty interesting, but I won't lie, he doesn't really have that much of the presence of a Rat King, but at the same time, you never know what they could do with him. So then after that we do get to see Donatello gets a message from Splinter, and it does play a BTS song, which also the same one which they do sing later on in the movie. Pretty cool and just so great, and yeah. And then when the Turtles are going off to Master Splinter, they do mention the Roku. Now this thing was also pretty interesting just because last year they did have on the home screen some little turtle bits on there, so there may be a little reference to that, or maybe, I doubt it, you never know. Okay, then after that we do get to see the mutants come in, and oh boy, this is again really interesting. So first of all, we do get to see Rocksteady coming in on a bike. Now this bike was also used in the Outer Shadows movie, and he doesn't really use this bike too often in any other versions, so I think it's pretty cool to see it come back here, and it's just so great. And then we do get to see Beetle coming to the scene in Monster Truck. Now this Monster Truck is being used in quite a few different games, most recently it's being used in the TMNT Shredder's Revenge game. So then after that we do get to see Superfly within the backstory behind all these mutants, and we do get to see the mutants going to town, and that's when they're chased out, and we do get to see this one person with a bat. Now with this, I don't believe it is Casey, but what I do believe it is, I do think that maybe this could be a reference to Casey Jones' dad, and maybe if what Superfly did say is true, when Mark died, and we could see Casey going on like a hate spree and hating mutants, which could be pretty interesting depending on what they do in the storyline, but I do find that pretty cool and really interesting. So then after the Turtles are kidnapped by the TCRI soldiers, we do get to see them in this lab, and that's when we do get to see the Turtles are getting electrocuted. Now this little bit here could be a little reference to the actual Turtles getting electrocuted in the games, pretty cool, and also a few interesting little bits there. And also not to mention here, with this little machine here which they are using, this machine does give little vibes from the 87 toy, which basically you strap down the turtle and ooze will come down onto them. Now this machine was also used in the TMNT 2012 cartoon, the 4-folded trap, where we do get to see Mikey be used on it. So I do find that a little bit interesting there, yeah. So then afterwards we do get to see Master Splinter comes in and saves the day by beating up all the TCRI soldiers, and we do get to see him carry all 4 turtle weapons. And I do feel as though that this may be a little reference, or at least give me vibes of The Last Ronin. I don't think there's really too much to it other than that. Okay, and then for the last little detail which I was able to find, we do get to see this person come over and say Master Splinter, and this person is a cameo from none other than Kevin Eastman himself. And yeah, this is truly amazing. So yeah, that's all the references I was able to find in this movie. I'm pretty sure there'll be a lot more when the HD version comes out online. But yeah, what do you think about this movie? Do you like it? Do you not? And also, was there any references that I missed? But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. If you doesn't, please share, like, subscribe, and all stuff. Goodbye, yo, bye.